So Twig, firstly, how's the team's preparation heading into a massive game against Glenelg on Sunday?
Yeah, it's our first Sunday game for the year, so that lends itself to a bit more training, given we played last Saturday against the Eagles. Yeah, we weren't happy that we played last week. I think at quarter time we were in a reasonable position, and then we really didn't perform to our expectation or standard after that. Albeit Eagles played well, but I don't think we got anywhere near our capability. So we reviewed that. Liked how they trained Tuesday. So from an effort and intent perspective, I think the playing group have been able to prepare themselves physically as best as possible, and I don't think it's anyone's under any illusions as the challenge that Glenelg presents this week, which comes at a good time for us.
Obviously we lose Jackson Callow in the mid-season draft. A pretty good player and a young talent. Obviously, how do we go about filling that hole come Sunday and going for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's a big hole, like how people would have seen the influence and impact Jacko's had on the team and the club. Like, he's immersed himself in the club. He's been a work around here, he gets involved in Thursday night membership nights. He's just a good young fella, but I'm proud of us, the club, that we've been able to have him for the period of time. He showed the courage to come over and be part of our club to further his footy, and we've been a provider of him developing. Now he gets to go where he wants to go, and I think going to Hawthorn, given he had a stint there early in the year, was great for him. We just need to look at our team with a bit of a different lens now. Since we've had Boyd, Shenton, Callow play down there together, it's worked pretty well. So we just need to revisit that. What's going to be the best mix moving forward? I don't think any of us have the solution at the moment, but we'll trial things and see where it gets us. And I'm a big believer. It's not worrying about what you don't have; it's what you do have and what you can do with it. And I want to celebrate and be proud of Jacko, and hope all our people are. And that we look forward to seeing what else we can explore and find, because we didn't know we had Jacko up until February, and we've been able to get a good return from him up till June 3. So let's hope we can come up with something different up there and find something else that works for us.
Yeah, definitely. At the moment, the team sits 5-3. I mean, at the moment, how have you found your first 8 weeks in the coaching job in the SANFL at the moment?
Yeah, it's a great competition. It's clearly the second best in the country. I think the VFL is a good competition, but there's a lot of compromises in that competition as it sits at the moment. But no, it's very even. I think it's starting to sort itself out. I think it'd be fair to say that Eagles, South Adelaide and Glenelg are the top 3 teams. That's starting to really merge. But there's also a really strong group from 4 right down to 10. West Adelaide, Centrals and Adelaide, who might be down the bottom, are still more than competitive and have had some good wins. So I think it's a great comp. The 5-3 thing, I think it's reflective of where we're at. We've played some really good games, and a couple where we haven't quite met the targets and achieved what we thought we could, but that's the trials and tribulations of a footy season. I think 5 of the 8 games we've kicked more behinds than we have goals, which I think is another part of good footy, is when you're converting well. Quite proud that we're number 1 in the comp for points against. I think that when you're trying to establish a way of going about it and an identifiable brand, that to be recognised after 8 weeks is, at the moment, the best defensive team in the comp, is a good feather in the hat for the guys, the way they've embraced how we want to go about it. The contest stuff, we've been pretty consistent, probably 1 or 2 games we haven't been at the level, but clearly all of us would prefer to keep scoring higher and more and keep stopping at the other end. So that's the challenge, trying to bring all parts together in season. 8 weeks in, I think the group have definitely invested and bought into how we want to go about it. Now just the consistency is the greatest challenge, and like I said before, we're going to have to look at structuring our team differently, which I think's got an air of excitement about it as well.
Just on Glenelg, obviously they had a big win against the Crows last week, and they've been obviously the informed team, undefeated in the competition so far. What needs to be done well? And obviously we had a really good first quarter against the Eagles last week. We're up for the fight, competitive, and it could show through the scoring power. What needs to be done well against the Bays to combat them this week?
Well, first and foremost, you've got to be strong in all 3 phases of the game, because that's what Glenelg are. They haven't fluked being 8-0. They're well balanced, they're experienced across each line of the ground. They don't rely on one phase to be excellent at, they just bring it all together, and I think that's a strength of ours. I think when our contest and skills around the ball, our source pressure has been high, and that's led to really good opportunities offensively, and we've been able to restrict inside 50s and scores the other way. So fundamentally, those parts of the game are going to need to be really strong and consistent. And the other part is, have our players play to their full capacity. Last week against the Eagles, we probably had 4 players that probably could say they played to their trademark level or higher, which when you play good teams, that's no chance of succeeding. When we perform well, we've had 16, 18 players play to or above capacity. So there's a lot goes into being the best in the comp, and I think if we embrace it, which I thought when we played South Adelaide, who were top of the table in round 5, we embraced that. We were prepared to bring a way of playing that was what we pride ourselves on and we're good at, that also was able to challenge South Adelaide, ended up being one of our best wins of the year. So I don't see it too dissimilar mentally about coming up against the best that it sits at the moment in the season, and I personally love those challenges, and I think our group do too.
And just lastly, Twig, obviously some massive inclusions to the squad this week. Our captain Matty Nunn returns from a hamstring injury, and Michael Talia returns after missing a bit of footy and then coming back through the reserves. How big are those inclusions, and what does it do for the confidence of the team?
I think when you lose Cal Owen, we're going to lose Michael Knoll as well. Michael's got an injury he sustained in the first quarter last week, which is going to keep him out for a little while. That you want to be able to bring people in who are capable of playing good senior footy, and clearly the captain in Nunn does. And Talia's been playing for 4 to 5 weeks now, and it was a matter of him getting enough conditioning, haven't missed so much football to be able to endure what an SANFL game requires. So it's great to be able to bring him back, which I think he's popular amongst the group, so that'll be really pleasing. We've still got a little bit more to explore with the shape of our team this week. So yeah, it's handy having that experience come back in, and how we best, I suppose, position people around the ground's the other challenge for us this week with the losses of the 2 players that I mentioned.
And just lastly, Twig, obviously a massive game on Sunday. How good would it be to see the crowd, come out for what is a massive game against the the league leaders in Glenelg?
Yeah, I'd really encourage our people to get here on Sunday, Joe. I think first Sunday of the year is a bit different, but one thing I've felt and seen was our first round crowd against Port Adelaide was unbelievable, what it did for the playing group and coaches and support staff alike. And the crowd against North Adelaide was strong. We didn't perform. South Adelaide was reasonable, and we had a really good win, and Adelaide was always going to be challenging. So I really encourage our people to really see Sunday as an opportunity to come and see us perform against the top of the table. It's going to be a great contest, and I think Glenelg people rock up as well. And just on that, I'd talk about Thursday nights as well. I think through the summer I really enjoyed seeing our people come down on a Thursday night to watch training in nice conditions and have a drink and interact with our people after training. And we've been bringing the players up first Thursday of every month for membership night of a Thursday night, have a meal upstairs, and I just keep encouraging people to come along to those nights, because for me that's what good clubs are about people being together and enjoying each other's company and being that sense of belonging, what it takes to be a Norwood person in a red league. So I'd encourage people to keep making as much effort as they can to come down to a club when the opportunities arise.
Fantastic, Twig. Best of luck for Sunday.
Thanks, Joe.